G'day and welcome to another very special episode of Queensland Weekender, where you've joined me in one of the most remote towns in Australia, Birdsville in Queensland's corner country. If you tuned in last week, you'll know that this is part 2 of my Outback Events road trip. Last week, we took in the best of the West from Winton, with our Winnebago in tow.
Oh, look at him go! Yeah!
We got a glimpse at life on the land.
It's not really a job for the faint-hearted or just think you're going to go driving. It sounds romantic, she's real.
And made our way to Birdsville for the excitement of the true Australian sport of camp drafting.
The test between horse rider and beast.
And now we've found ourselves another 5 hours south in the town of Birdsville. Well, I don't know about you, but an outback road trip always has me hankering for a good bakery and an even better pie, and I'm told this one is the place to get it. It's a long road trip, but it's worth the drive. The Birdsville Bakery is an icon of the outback. Jeez, she is shockers. And today it's fueling up thousands of people who, like me, are on their way to the Big Red Bash. This week we'll bring you all the action from this way out there event.
If I was going to come to a concert, I'd come to this one.
And if that's not enough for you, we're finishing up our road trip in Birdsville for the quirky camel and pig races. It's going to be one heck of an adventure. But first, let's get acquainted with the little town on the edge of the Simpson Desert. It's one of the only places in the world where you can get a camel pie, and you can see they're pretty in demand.
Camel pie, get you one of those.
9,000 to 10,000 people have rolled into town, and it seems everyone wants to tick the famous pie off their bucket list. Now, you're doing an absolutely roaring trade today. How many would you do on the week of the bash?
Look, we'll do 5,000 to 6,000 pies a day. Unbelievable.
Well, tick that one off the bucket list. It's delicious. The frontier town is famous for its rugged beauty, its pioneering history, and another must-do stop. Well, you can't come to Birdsville without having a beer at the pub. It is arguably one of the most iconic hotels in Australia. I have been waiting to come here for so long, and it's even more exciting to be here than I thought it would be. What makes it so famous?
Look, I think it's all about the journey to get here. People do a lot of planning and it's a long way to travel. The roads can sometimes be very challenging. So when they get here, it's time for a celebration, and what better place to do it than in the Birdsville Hotel?
This place has been welcoming travellers since 1884, if these walls could talk. Tell me about the hats on the wall.
So the hats behind us here are for people that have really put in the hard yards within the town. So they don't just hang a hat, they're invited to hang a hat, and they've got to have had a really good positive impact on the community. And then when they pass away, people up here, once they pass away, out of a tribute, the hat gets moved to the other side of the wall behind us here. So yeah, the hat's up behind us.
That's so lovely.
Used to be up here on the wall here, yeah.
Birdsville's just one of those places where you get an authentic outback experience. Well, there's something called the Birdsville bucket list. Have a beer at the pub, a camel pie from the Birdsville Bakery, and make your way out to the edge of the Simpson Desert to this beauty, Big Red. Big Red is the tallest sand dune in the Simpson Desert. Standing at 40 metres high, it lures four-wheel drive enthusiasts and sunset seekers. If you time your visit to the desert right, you might just catch the Big Red Bash, which is happening down there as I speak. Catch me after the break for all the action. It's dry and isolated country, a place of wild beauty. The Simpson Desert sits in the corner of Queensland, South Australia and the Northern Territory. With its vast red sandy plains and endless blue skies. It's the biggest sand dune desert on the planet. And once a year, this faraway place attracts thousands. Welcome to the world's most remote music festival.
Welcome to the Big Red Bash 2018!
For 3 days in July, thousands of music lovers, party animals and four-wheel drive enthusiasts arrive in convoy to kick up some dust to Australian rock royalty. The Big Red Bash is a music festival like no other, set on a 10-storey high sand dune called Big Red. And the lineup this year is just as big.
Sean Farnham, you are headlining the Big Red Bash. What is it like to play a venue like this?
It's unexplainable. I mean, I've never done this before, and all these other guys have done them a couple of times. And when this was particularly mooted, I just leapt at it. I couldn't wait to get out here, and it's been worth every second so far. I reckon I'll be pulling sand out of me socks for a few weeks yet, though.
I reckon you will be.
And so will Kate Sobrano, John Stevens, The Angels, Adam Brand, The Hoodoo Gurus and Daryl Braithwaite.
This is amazing. It's we were all driving in, we were just all so surprised that because the crowd's gotten bigger since we were here in 2014, and you couldn't pick a better spot.
This year, a record 9,000 people are calling Bashville home for 3 days, including me and my Winnebago. I reckon this has got to be the best way to do a festival. You can enjoy a few creature comforts from home, but you're in the middle of all the action, and there's plenty of that here. In true Outback Festival style, there's a full program of offstage fun, including the Australian Outback Air Guitar Championships.
This is insane. They're getting so into it. I love it.
Dune surfing, Outback style. And this. We'll get to that later on. But first... The bride isn't the only one dressing up for the occasion. There's a bash tradition that really brings out some beauties.
Turn around, come on, you know you want to. You look absolutely fabulous. Where are you from?
From Brizzy.
The iconic drag race is about to kick off, and the two most glamorous girls in the Outback, the Crack Up Sisters, are everyone's favourite country comedians. They're hosting the whole 3-day event.
People love coming out here and having fun, and that's what the whole event is set up for, and that's what the Crack Up Sisters do here. We run games in between each of the bands so that everybody's active, they're participating.
And what I love most about being here is no one is taking themselves too seriously. Everyone's just having the best time. The vibe is awesome, and it's just like one big party.
It is a big party for everyone, from the 3-year-olds right up to the 99-year-olds. Everyone's giving it a go.
And speaking of giving it a go, holy cow, it's time to get this race moving.
This is desert fashion at its very finest.
Hundreds of colourful characters running down the largest sand dune in the Simpson Desert.
Strut your stuff.
Look at this, the crowd is going absolutely wild. Have you ever seen so many men in one place having this much fun?
I've been lipsticked.
We'll have plenty of outtakes and behind-the-scenes fun on the Queensland Weekender Facebook page. And trust me, there are some pearls in there.
Now you two, first place. Well done. How could you not get first place?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. It's been a great experience.
Now, for people that have never been to the bash, what would you say to them?
Do it.
You've
Just
got
do
to
it.
do it.
Just pack up, get a bit of glitz if you want to have some fun. It's just something you've got to do.
We'll have more fun from the Big Red Bash and a world record attempt coming up after the break.
We're nearly there. We've got a minute to go. We're so close.
As day 2 of the Birdsville Big Red Bash starts warming up, so are the crowds.
Well, we're about to start the Guinness World Record for the biggest nutbush ever attempted. The number to beat is 552. We've got about 2,000 people here, but if we don't get there, We've already raised
QS.
$10,000 for the Royal Flying
Anyone seen
Doctors,
them
so
around?
fingers crossed.
3, 2, 1, go!
What a sight! 2,000 people boot scooting on the desert floor, below the biggest sand dune in The Simpsons. 30 seconds to go! We're nearly there! Well, if we make it, the Big Red Bash will go down in history. Breaking a world record together guarantees you a new friend or two. But you're bound to run into a few you already know here.
Hello.
I'm catching up with my mate John Elliott, who we met back in Winton last week. He's passionate about the bush and no stranger to music festivals, having travelled the world photographing country music artists.
How does this one compare?
It is like you can't describe it until you come here. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. Like you're driving in the desert, then you see Big Red, and about 9,000 lunatics have driven all the way here to enjoy the music, and it's just great.
Today's lineup is epic, and John's looking forward to photographing Dave Faulkner from the Hooter Gurus.
Dave, welcome.
Thank you, lovely to be here. Look at this
Big
place. Magnificent.
The band have been part of the Australian music scene forever.
Absolutely, you're right, forever.
It must be a thrill to come out to a location like this.
It is.
And present the music again.
Also for us, it's like, you know, we're always surprised where this business and our career takes us. You know, there's always something interesting and new to discover. And we've heard about this thing for years, but this is our first opportunity to be here and we're loving it.
It looks like the artists are having as much fun as the crowds.
That's right.
Dave, you've just come off stage. You really genuinely look as if you're having the time of your life with the Angel.
It's just great fun. I mean, I've 7 years with them now. But yeah, I mean, those songs, they're songs that have been like rocking me since I was a kid. So to be up there sharing the stage with John and Rick is unreal.
John's photographed Dave Gleeson before with his other band, the Screaming Jets. Out of all the artists here, I reckon the one having the most fun is Adam Brand. He's been hosting the offstage fun with the Crack Up Sisters, and he reckons this event has something for everyone.
If you're from the city and you're a bit worried you can't get your piccolo latte, don't worry, you can. All right? You see a drag show, air guitar championships, you can see a heap of bands. I mean, what else do you want? What else do you need on a holiday?
And if you're still wondering, why travel to the middle of nowhere for a concert?
I think the answer to that starts the day they leave home. And it's all about the journey to get there, it's about the journey home, it's about meeting friends who have done it before, getting around the campfire and all, you know, seeing artists here in the middle of nowhere. I think it's just all that common bond, you know, and you know, this event is one of those bucket list events. And I think that's what really binds them all together, and they're all just here to party together under the stars.
This really is the experience of a lifetime, and I'm ticking one more thing off my bucket list. After the break, our road trip comes to an end, but not before one big, quirky dose of outback charm.
100, 210, 210, I got.
As we bid farewell to Birdsville and say g'day to Baduri.
Oh my God.
Today's the last day of our Outback Events road trip. My Winnebago caravan has been my home away from home for the last 2 weeks. And boy, have we had some adventures. But we're in for one more. We've made our way from Birdsville, 200 kilometres north, back up to Baduri.
Travelling through the outback, you really do come to expect the unexpected. They do things in their own unique way. I reckon if pigs could fly, they would out here.
Well, they do fly around a racetrack.
What did I tell you?
Welcome to the Bedourie Camel and Pig Races. And these piglets go for a pretty penny.
210 I got, 210. All done. So, give this man a big
But wait till you hear their names.
I've gone political this year. The Royal Blue, we've got Tony Abattoir. The naked pig is Billy Shortham. The pink pig is Malcolm Turnbull.
Kev, the pig whisperer Kylie, takes his thoroughbred racing pigs and a hint of sarcasm all over the country.
Racing and away they go. It's a good start by the New South Wales pig out in front. The aqua pig, the silver ones come from nowhere. Around they go. Look out, around they go. Big. Now they're going the wrong way. Here we go. Pink, aqua's got it.
Travel for the win.
Thoroughbred racing pig, Sammy, hard to come by, yeah.
Very hard to train too.
Without a doubt. It takes years of training those 6-week-old pigs, yes.
Can you tell a good racing pig from a not so good one?
No, I got no idea.
And Kev's been in the biz for 18 years.
The thing that I'm more chuffed about is over the 18 years we've been going, we've raised over $3.5 million for charity.
Wow.
So it's just huge. People out here, I say it wherever I go, they're fantastic people. They are fantastic people. Genuine and they're unique, yeah.
And one of those genuine folk is my mate Colgate, who we met here last week. Yep, the bloke with the big smile. He's one of the organisers who started this event 20 years ago.
Well, it started out as a couple of blokes sitting around a bottle of rum talking about camels. And then we started out with probably about 100. That would have been the town population. And then we've worked out to probably about 2,000 now, maybe a bit over. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
The event's grown to include the camp oven cook-off.
Ta-da! First time.
The special Bedourie camp oven was invented in the town. There's also wood chopping, foot races and events for the kids.
Around they come here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, now one's gone the bloody wrong way. Very hard to call.
And of course, my favourite, the famous camel races.
That could be Congo red on the outside. Look out. Look at the steering here. Around they go. We've got in the green and gold. Green and gold on the outside. That looks like Flying Frank. And I think that could be one of Glenda's. Ace on the inside. Ace is on the inside. A very good camel. Have a look at this. The other one of Glenda's is going AWOL. Around they go. It looks like a big fella. Ace is here. And then in the red and white we've got Teddy. And look at all stages. Have a look at that.
Nearly got taken out, Mike. That was the scariest thing that's happened to me all trip.
Well, it's scary enough being a spectator. I can't imagine what it's like being a camel jockey.
Adrenaline rush. It's nothing else like it. So much fun. Gun goes off. Hope they run the right way. There's no steering, no bridles. We just hope they run.
Tom and Kiralee Woodhouse are camel trainers from Booyah. They were also running camel rides at the Birdsville Big Red Bash.
It's something different. Everyone's got horses, what dogs, what not. Camels are just different. I think it's just their personality. They seem to just draw you in and, yeah, you're stuck with them then.
There's only one way to get an understanding.
Oh my God! Oh my gosh, it's so scary!
This has certainly been one whirlwind adventure. And what a way to finish, with another cracking event fueled by the passion of a little outback town.
I've been on the road for a couple of weeks now in the outback, and it's just the sense of community out here has blown me away.
It sort of takes all the pressure off from the drought and all that sort of stuff, and they enjoy themselves and, you know, get to meet other people. They meet some really nice people that come to our town. And
you must be so proud.
oh, very proud, yes.
Big red sand dunes and big blue skies, stations and stargazing, wetlands and waterholes, Outback Queensland is a big place, full of big characters, big hearts, big events and even bigger adventures. We'll have a full itinerary of our 2-week Outback Events road trip on the Queensland Weekender website, so you can start planning your own adventure. But this part of the world is worth a visit at any time. We'll have lots of outtakes and behind-the-scenes fun on our Facebook and Instagram. And while you're online, check out Queensland.com and Queensland Route Travel for more inspiration.
Well, after 2 weeks travelling through the Outback, I can honestly say this has been the trip of a lifetime. I've met so many beautiful characters and visited so many amazing towns. It has absolutely blown me away. That's all I have time for on today's show. I'm about to get back in and amongst the camel and pig races. We'll see you next week.